First leg, James to throw first. Game on.
But despite Michael van Gerwen's impressive run to this final, James Wade, it has to be said, has already seen off the world champion Rob Cross this evening. Now he has his sights firmly set on the world #1. Michael van Gerwen and James Wade 60. In the final of the European Darts Trophy 2018, the final European Tour event of the year, and a chance for Michael van Gerwen to win title number 19 of this calendar 54. Year as well. Paul Nicholson is shaking his head at those numbers. He's alongside me, Rob Malarkey, for this one.
He does things in a month
140.
that people would be very happy to do in their careers. Never mind what he does in a year. The reason people are calling him the greatest player to have ever thrown a dart talent-wise is because 94. Of what he's doing right now. He may not be the greatest player of all time, but I think he is the most talented.
Well, Michael van Gerwen,
100.
Just to further embellish the point as if it needs embellishing, he beat Peter Wright to claim a 4th World Grand Prix crown
45.
In Dublin, the venue where he claimed his first major victory in 2012. And that success in Dublin last week, it was the 112th title of Michael van Gerwen's career. He is 29 years old.
Double 12 for van Gerwen to take the lead with a 13-darter.
On the way throw. And it's a 14-dart break of throw. Michael van Gerwen into his stride very swiftly, you have to say.
Well, I've just been given a nugget of information, Rob.
Not more numbers, surely.
100.
It is quite ridiculous, but apparently, obviously the guys get 9 practice darts on stage, and I've been reliably informed from the backstage crew that Michael van Gerwen's 9 practice darts were 6 treble 20s in a row, followed by another treble 20, a treble 19, and a narrow miss on double 12.
And also, going back to that win over Michael Smith in the semi-final, prior to the match against Smith, with the final 3 darts of his warm-up, he hit bullseye, bullseye,
100.
bullseye.
Sickening.
Even when he's warming up, he's absolutely on fire.
That's what you should do. You shouldn't misuse your final 9 darts practice. You should use them to get yourself finely tuned. Well, Wadey knows all about this kind of thing, because remember back to the Premier League final, one of the Premier League finals, he played against Phil Taylor.
91.
Phil Taylor's 9 practice darts were a 9-darter.
Well, wherever you go with Michael van Gerwen, you do get head-spinning numbers. Wade, 170 won't go. Van Gerwen looking at 104.
100. Michael, you require 104.
It won't help Wadey's cause if Van Gerwen takes out this 104. He's not going to hit that 60, so chance for James. Treble 10 will be the target.
Almost 20 for tops. Wade with a very, very good response, an instantaneous one as well. A 15-dart break back.
Good dart that, because it wasn't a particularly natural dart. It messed around in his fingers a bit and he had to readjust. So to be able to do that under that sort of pressure early in a game, and look at his face. He had a reaction at the end of his semi-final that I haven't seen in a while. It was sheer aggression and willingness to win this tournament. He doesn't want Michael van Gerwen to get another Euro Tour title. James wants a 3rd.
Well, van Gerwen, having suffered the instant break back, is looking to make amends here. Michael van Gerwen delivering the only 9-dart leg this year on the European Tour. That was in Hamburg against Ryan Joyce in round 2. There's time yet.
Plenty of time. First to 8 in the final. New rules for 2018. I think it's been a welcome change.
65.
Mind you, Michael van Gerwen has dispatched people in finals by big margins. It was a bit squeaky against James Wilson for a while in Hildesheim. But people like Steve Lennon, who he dispatched in Zwolle.
Yeah, and the most emphatic win in a Euro Tour final this year, the 8-2 defeat of Willie O'Connor in Hamburg. 8-3 when he played James Wade in Sindelfingen in the final there. Wade needs to put some pressure on here.
Sindelfingen, of course, the home of the European Tour.
The Glaspalast, the hallowed hallways of the Glaspalast in Sindelfingen.
Now, can Wadey muster up a 95 checkout to take the lead? 25 needed now. Or double 12. Wow! The hard way. Could have easily gone for 25 and bull. Backed himself, trebled 17 and double 12 to send a message to Van Gerwen.
Certainly does, doesn't it? Van Gerwen looks a little bit irritated by that. Oh, and he might be irritated by that as well. 60 points on the floor, I feel there. I think that was a bounce out from the treble 20 bed.
Certainly was.
And once again, it could be a carbon copy visit, this, for James Wade.
55.
Compared to the visit he had at the start of the previous leg. But he came good in the end. And Michael Van Gerwen comes good once again.
You could say he should be on a 9-darter.
Well, look at that. The average of James Wade is only 74, but he's 2 on up.
52.
I mean, sometimes the stats this weekend have been absolutely baffling, stemming from that Noppert Alcinas match. The Daryl Gurney quarter-final with Van Gerwen was another example.
141.
Stats lie sometimes.
Gurney averaging 117 at one stage. He was 4-1 down.
He was looking to break the highest losing average record, which I think belongs to
45.
Raymond van Barneveld.
Michael, you require 60.
Yeah, and Van Gurney as well, down to 56, I think it was, after 9 darts in one leg. He still lost it. Tops for Van Gerwen.
How many people can say that they've beaten James Wade in a leg of darts by 349 points? That's ridiculous.
72.
Well, James Wade is contesting his 4th final of the year.
34.
The previous 3, he's lost them all. We talked about the one in Europe against Van Gerwen. 2 final defeats on the Pro Tour as well, including a 6-2 defeat by Mervyn King at Players' Championship 15 in Barnsley. That was at the end of June. And it followed a stunning defeat of Rob Cross in the quarterfinals as well. That's just as stunning from Michael Van Gerwen. And his appearance in the final of the first Players' Championship of this year was his first
60.
Pro Tour final for over a year. He has got an abysmal record in finals. He's lost 11 of his last 12. The exception being the European match play in Hamburg 2 year ago, or 2 and a bit years ago now. That was the last time he won a PDC ranking title. It was a Euro Tour event. But the other 11 finals in that time frame, stemming back to
60.
the World Match Play in 2015, he's all gone the other way.
It's ominous that Van Gerwen keeps leaving very, very small numbers after 9 darts and getting rid of legs in 12. He's turned the tide where he had the lead for a very, very short moment. He's now behind again.
Yeah, 2 breaks to 1 in favour of Michael Van Gerwen, the number 1 seed.
135.
What more can we say? We've been here before with Van Gerwen in the final. Been here with
58.
Wadey playing him. And I'd love to know, does this feel routine for Van Gerwen to win these titles?
Well, we talked earlier, I mean, not so long ago, he was still targeting the record of 26 titles for a single year that he managed to chalk up a couple of years ago. Now, even if he wins every tournament that's open to him this year now, or in the rest of the year, he can't match that. I think he can get to 25.
What a terrible season.
If he wins this one. He's got 2 more Pro Tour events, the Grand Slam, the World Series finals, the Players' Championship finals. He's the defending champion in all of those as well.
60.
So, it could still be a quarter century of titles for Michael Van Gerwen in 2018.
I wonder how much you would swap for a world title. To have the world title at the end of this year what would he swap from this year?
Well, I'm not going to answer that. I think the only man who can answer that question is Michael van Gerwen.
I might ask him that later. If he wins, I'm not saying he's definitely going to win this. Never write James Wade off.
But the point is, rumours of his demise have been greatly exaggerated, and look at that. Now that all goes back to those 3 bullseyes against Michael Smith in the warm-up. Maybe, just maybe, that stood him in good stead.
He does this sometimes when he feels he's in the groove. He's done it on the Pro Tour many, many times.
140.
He just fancied that. Quite simple. Just fancied it.
Bullseye, 19, bullseye. Irresistible,
140.
irrepressible.
Genius.
Genius from Michael van Gerwen.
He's got this knack of getting the darts so close together that when he gets that first bullseye, it looks massive. All he's got to do is clatter into the first flight and it will gather together.
Well, we saw the averages a few moments ago.
60.
I mean, there's a huge gulf. I mean, I've just stopped looking at that, to be honest. There's over 30 points between the averages right now. But the other significant thing, the first dart average,
58.
Van Gerwen's first dart average is over 40. Wade's is at 25 and a bit.
That's
So
not going to cut it.
I mean, if you accentuate that over the course of, say, for example, a
60.
12, 13 dart leg, you know, Wade is going to be adrift. He's ahead in this one, though, on his throw, but Van Gerwen can certainly challenge once again and certainly can maybe threaten a break. I don't think he will now.
48.
Well, Michael had to wait a little while because James is just slowing up the pace a bit. Not deliberately, he's just taking his time, trying to gather some thoughts and
59.
try to find a way to get through this game. It's proving difficult.
48 in the previous visit. He's left 160, and he might take out the 160.
120.
No stranger to massive checkouts this weekend, Michael van Gerwen. That was very nearly another.
This has got to go. Tops. Lovely treble 14. And tops. The game's still alive. But Van Gerwen has the break still. He's halfway, Van Gerwen. He's a little bit closer than that now.
Halfway to paradise for Michael van Gerwen. And look at the anger and the frustration on the face of James Wade.
Do you want to know what's going to annoy James Wade? When he turned pro, he ran into Phil Taylor a lot. Phil Taylor cost him millions. And now Michael van Gerwen's costing him a lot of money too. It's like Phil Taylor Mark II.
Surely Van Gerwen will not go bull, will he?
Oh, please do it, Michael.
You know, you shouldn't rule it out.
150.
Where's he going to go? Michael van Gerwen. Of course he's not. And he's missed the treble 20
It was
anyway.
the perfect time to do it. He's miles in front.
90.
Give it a go.
Hit 3 in the warm-up against Smith. Hit 2 in the previous leg, or the previous leg that he won. I wouldn't have been surprised had he gone that way.
Well, he's actually hit a 150 finish on 3 bulls on the Pro Tour. Hasn't done it on the Euro Tour, but has done it on the Pro Tour against Dave Pallett.
2 darts at tops for a 5. Well, I say 2 darts at tops. He could have even more, but he only needs 1.
Throw first.
I think everybody here at the Lockhala knows they're in the
57.
presence of greatness.
Yeah, James Wade with a puff of the cheeks there, just looking a little bit crestfallen now, a little bit deflated. 57 scored by James Wade. And that is 180, number 5 for this final. And it takes his tally for the tournament to 18. And this is his 5th match of the weekend.
Well, I've got to say, Rob, I'm really looking forward to playing Van Gerwen in the Euros. Because I know exactly what I've got to do. Plenty of them.
Michael van Gerwen may still deliver something even more special. Well, let's not, I mean, James Wade, he's 5-3 down. It's just the 1 break in it, 2 breaks to 1. But there's no sign of Van Gerwen slowing up here. That's the thing.
60.
And you just think, if James Wade can turn a corner and can just step it up, you know, he's averaging 78, but he's still got 3 legs on the board.
65.
Again, ridiculously small number after 9. Leaving things like 60, 50, 16.
58.
almost
Michael
unplayable.
requires 16.
Almost unplayable, and like I say, I think James Wade needs to take some comfort from the fact that he has got 3 legs on the board, but that's another break now, and that could be key. That could be the killer. It's a 10-darter for Michael van Gerwen, and the average is nudging 112.
Yeah, gargantuan stats.
100.
Crazy thing is, he can actually play better than this.
A 10-dart break. For a 6-3 lead, 2 legs away from an 8th European Tour title of the year. We only have 13 tournaments, and he didn't turn up to all of them either.
93.
Was an absentee in Riesa. Was an absentee in Riesa and was an absentee in Graz as well. My word.
125.
So what we're trying to say here is that he could potentially, if he plays like this and plays a little bit more next year, he could get
98.
double figures of European Tour titles. It is possible.
Anything's possible sometimes with MVG.
60.
Crowd draws its breath just for a moment, as do we here in the commentary box. Once again, it's been a great weekend of European sword arts. It's been great to be part of what has been a superb event laid on by PDC Europe. Superb organisation behind the scenes, well attended. The crowd have been fantastic all weekend as well. A superb venue, you have to say as well. Looking forward to seeing this place provide the backdrop for the European Championship next year. I'm sure Dortmund will do a great job this year as well. Van Gerwen looking at 110, now looking at 90. Finds the treble 18 for double. And there was just almost an inevitability about that one going.
Well, I echo your sentiments, Rob. Everybody backstage has done an amazing job all season. All over Europe. Went to Denmark. Been all over Germany. Been to the Netherlands a couple of times. Been to Graz in Austria. Austria next year gets 2 European Tour events, which will be very, very good for the Austrians. Double Mensur.
Lots of Mensur next year.
How many titles will Van Gerwen win next year on the European Tour? Well, he's going to add to that tally today, you would think. He's only 1 leg away.
Well, he's got so much in hand here. James Wade, foot perfects on his finishing when he has had the opportunity, but the scoring hasn't been there from James Wade today. Van Gerwen has more often than not just been in charge from the word go. We talked about the first 3-dart average and the first dart average as well. It's still hovering just below the 40 barrier. Wade's still at 25. The overall averages, there is still a gulf between them. 31 points or so between the averages right now. There we see 78.2 plays 110. That's astonishing.
Yeah, double stats of 58% in this match for Van Gerwen, 58% for the tournament. That is alarming consistency.
Yeah.
With that scoring ability as well,
40.
I'm not sure that can be beaten.
170.
Well, what a way this would be to finish it off for Michael van Gerwen. I wouldn't rule it out, you know. I would not rule it out. And he has found the bullseye. And Michael van Gerwen finishes things off in style against James Wade. And once again, it's an 8-3 scoreline in the final. And that is a very fair reflection of a dominant performance by Michael van Gerwen. And once again, he conjures up 3 ton-plus checkouts during the course of that one. An average in the final of 111 and a success rate there of 8 from 13 on his checkouts. He's all about the numbers, wherever you turn, however you break it down. But this weekend, once again, the numbers have added up perfectly for Michael van Gerwen.